Hello everybody, this is Aykut from System Craftsman. So we are continuing the series for Strimzi Kafka CLI, and in the last video, remember that we created the authentication mechanism on Strimzi with the help of Strimzi Kafka CLI, and in this video I will show you how to configure authorization and the user that has to be authenticated on Strimzi with the help of Strimzi Kafka CLI. So come on, join me. First, let's check if we have the cluster that we created in the previous example or not. KFK clusters list. So we should have a cluster called my cluster. And let's see if we have the topics, KFK topics list minus n Kafka and minus c my cluster. We should have a topic called my topic, and we should have a KFK. We should have a user called list called my user, which has the TLS authentication. So remember that we configured our cluster for TLS authentication. Now let's alter our cluster in order to add the authorization configuration. And in order to do that, we should go under spec Kafka, and with the same level with config, we should add authorization, and this time since that will be a simple ACL authorization, we should add this as simple. So this means that for all of the Kafka brokers, for the cluster in short, we enable the simple ACL authorization. So let's save this, and let me show you something else. And we had the, as I said a couple of seconds ago, we have the TLS authentication enabled, and for the plain listener we have the Scrum SHA 512 authentication type, but we will be using this TLS authentication in order to authorize our authenticated user. So let's save this, and it is edited. So let's watch the pods, and as you can see, they are terminating. So our brokers are ready, as you can see. Let's stop this, and let's produce and try to produce and consume some messages in order to see if the authorization works. So what we expect is it shouldn't let us produce and consume messages. So KFK console producer, yeah, for my topic. And again, we do this for the client properties. As you can remember, we have the client properties like this for that we configured for SSL authentication. So we will be using the same. You can copy the one you created for the authentication. So let's try to produce some messages here, and let's try to consume some messages from here. So I will say hello world, and as you can see, we have the topic authorization exception, and the console consumer didn't start yet, but we will be having the same issue here. Let's see. Yeah, again it says topic authorization exception not authorized. So how to enable this authorization. Let me clear my screens here. So in order to enable authorization, we have to enable the user's authorization. Remember that we had the user that has the authentication as TLS, but it didn't have any authorization. It doesn't have any authorization, so we will enable this and we will put some ACLs. We will define some ACLs inside with the help of Strimzi Kafka CLI. So how to do this? Let's say that KFK users, we have to alter the current user, and the user's name is my user, and we will add, we have a flag called authorization type, like the authentication type, and it has some values like none, simple. None means that I don't want any authorization, so it deletes the authorization key inside. And we have the simple value for now in the Strimzi Kafka CLI. So authorization type simple, and let's add ACL for this authorization, because let me show you actually, minus n Kafka minus c my cluster, because it will complain. Yeah, it says that if you have the authorization, you should have the ACLs. So we have to define the ACLs in parallel. So what I will add here, I will put this add ACLs. By the way, there are two ways to add and remove ACLs to users. One is using this KFK users command, and the other one, we will have a look at that. We have the KFK ACL command that enables us to define, remove, update any ACL. So after adding this add ACLs command, command, let's put a resource type. It will need a resource type, which will be a topic. It can be either a topic or a group. Any resource type that an ACL can have can be defined here. So in this case, the resource type is topic, and the resource name is my topic. And for the other ones, actually, let me show it to you with a help command. For the other ones, like resource pattern type, or the type of the ACL, the host, since they have some default values, we don't enter them right now. The host is in default is the star, and the type is the allow. So since we are allowing for any host for this topic, for this user, we don't specifically give that, but I can show you the other command that has all of the flags. So yeah, my topic, and I have the resource name, and that's all. Let's run this, and it says the my user is configured. So let's check if it is configured or not. KFK users describe my user, and let's describe this as YAML. You can use -o YAML, -o JSON, or without -YAML. It will describe your custom resource. So as you can see, we have the authorization here with the type ACL, and we have the ACL, the single ACL of ours. And as I said, it has the host as star operation for all operation, and the resource pattern type is literal, which is the default. The resource type is topic, and the resource name is my topic. And the type of the ACL is allow. So the long form of this should be something like this. I will copy and paste it for you, but I won't run this. It should be something like resource type, resource name, type allow, hosts star, operation all. Just like the traditional Kafka command. So let's clear this, and since now we have the authorization enabled for this user for the relevant topic, let's produce and try to produce and consume messages. So I will copy and paste the producer again with the same client properties and run this. And I will run the console consumer again. Yeah, I have the producer and the consumer. The consumer just returned an error. I will have a look at that. Let me check the producer first. So hello message. It seems to be working without any problem. So it means that I can produce messages for this topic with the relevant user, which is my user. And since I'm using the trust store and the key store for this user called my user, it understands that I'm telling Kafka that I authenticated with my user and I'm authorized to produce some messages for this topic. But what happened for the consume part? Let's have a look at that. It says that we have a group authorization exception, and it says that I'm not authorized to access the group, access as the group, console consumer, and the produced number here. So this means that I have to use a consumer group in order to consume messages from the relevant topic, which is in this case my topic. So what I have to do, I will put an ACL definition again, in this case not for the topic but for the group, saying that this group is allowed to read data from that topic. So let me show it to you. Remember that I told you about the Kafka ACLs command. So let me show it to you. In this case, I won't do it with the Kafka users. I can do that, but in order to show what Kafka ACLs can do, I just want to use this Kafka ACLs. So Kafka ACLs add, it's just like Kafka ACLs command. So Kafka ACLs add allow principal. It's a user. It will be a allowance for the user, my user, and this will be for the group, my group. The resource type is group in this case. The operation, I don't want to, if I don't set this, it will allow for all of the operations. So I don't want this. I will just set this operation as read, because I just want this group to be able to read from the relevant topic. So operation read and minus n Kafka for the namespace and minus c for the cluster, for the Kafka cluster. So let's add this to my user. And it says it's configured. So KFK users. Let's describe this, and you will see the ACL is added for the group as well. Yeah. As you can see, we have the, again, for all of the hosts, we allow this group to read the data. Sorry to interrupt. So while editing the video, I just realized that I forgot about some parts of the example, like listing the ACLs. So let's see how we list the ACLs. So apart from we can describe our users and see the defined ACLs here, we can list all of the ACLs like a Kafka ACL command of apache-kafka, I mean natively. So I will show it to you. With kfk ACLs command, you can list your ACLs, and you can do that for the relevant namespace and the cluster. As you can see, we have two ACLs defined for the my user, and it has all of the information, like for example we have the ACL resource type topic. So for the my user principal, we are defining this as operation all and permission type allow. So this shows us the native output of Kafka ACL, listing all of the ACLs. We have an option for just listing the, for example, topic ACL. So if you write topic here, sorry, I forgot about the topic name, my topic. As you can see, I only list the resource type topic, in this case for my topic. And let me show you the group one too. Yeah, we have the group definition here. So this functionality I think is good, because if you like to list all of the ACLs like you can do with Kafka ACLs shell command, so this allows you to list all of the ACL data on that cluster rather than looking at the details by describing the users one by one. So let's continue our example. Let's try this with our client. Yeah, we have the producer, but we have to change something on the client properties in order to consume messages. So let's open our client properties, and we have to add something like this: group ID, which equals to my group in this case, because I told the ACL to allow this group to read. Okay, it's saved. So I'll run my console consumer again. Yeah, the consumer is here. So let's consume some messages. Hello again. And as you can see, we are able to consume the messages. Hi there. Well, welcome yo consumer. That's great. We can consume the messages. So our simple ACL authorization works. So thank you for the session. Please check my blog post about this simple ACL authorization on Strimzi using the Strimzi Kafka CLI. So you have all of the comments. We have all of the comments here that I just shown to you. So thanks for watching my video. See you later.